Hey, welcome back to Dysfunctional Channel. I'm your host, Jesus Figueroa at Dysfunctional of Dysfunktional.com, and today I'm going to get the chance to chat with Mindy Bledsoe, the director, co-star, co-writer of The In-Between. The In-Between was shot in 2 weeks and is a touching, emotional, and thoroughly entertaining journey charting the highs and lows for two women who are both emotionally damaged, suffering physically, and bonded together by the deepest of friendships. Check out my interview with Mindy Bledsoe. Congratulations on this. I thought it was so emotionally impactful. It had me with so many mixed emotions. How was it, you know, directing this to be the way it came out? It seems like there's so much to it.
Well, interesting fact is, so our characters in the film have type 1 diabetes and the other has complex regional pain syndrome. And Jennifer Stone, my co-star, and we both have those illnesses in real life. So I have CRPS and she has type 1 diabetes. So when we came together to create the script, we knew we wanted to bring these invisible illnesses to the screen as well, because we wanted a better representation. Like there isn't real good representation for these kind of illnesses on screen. And we thought acting in it as ourselves would bring a level of authenticity that isn't normally seen. But we certainly didn't want to make it all about those illnesses, because anyone with a chronic illness knows that that's not what defines them and makes them who they are completely. So yeah, that was kind of the genesis of it all.
One of the most difficult things to do in a film is, especially when you're representing a real life illness, is being sensitive to the fact that people might be triggered by what they're watching. What was that in the back of your mind while directing this?
To be honest, no, I can't direct that way. I have to direct from a place of honesty for myself. And, I can't direct with a fear of hurting someone's feelings. I've got to bring the truth of the story out for what my perspective and what my POV is. So I hope not to hurt anyone or trigger anyone. Of course not. Um, but yeah, no, I didn't honestly set out to think about that. I had to go with no fear on this.
Trauma bonding is something that happens with a lot of people, and it seems like these two characters trauma bond from the beginning of the story.
Yeah.
How was it, getting to that point for both you and Jennifer?
Well, Jen and I kind of in real life bonded over our chronic illnesses, so I guess we did kind of have that trauma, that bonding trauma. And we both have a weird sense of humor, so we knew each other. We were friends for about 7 months before we hit the road and started filming. So, we had built a good trust and a rapport between the two of us. So, yeah, it came really natural, really easy for us.
Yeah, the story, I think it's fantastic the way the physical journey progresses as well as the emotional journey, and it seems like at exactly the right point they split. Um, at what point did you feel that this was very much inspired by true events, or by stuff that you've gone through?
Um, well, the actual storyline isn't really based on anything that's familiar to either of us, but we both know what it's like to live in the in-between with our illnesses, and to know that there's the other side of the coin, there's the other side of the road, the bridge, to get to the other side. So we wanted metaphors for that on an emotional level. And that's how we discovered for the characters the abandonment issues with Mads and her mom, and for Junior the loss of her sister. So the loss of her sister is very representative of who Junior was before she got sick, and as is the Mads's mom is representative of who she was before she got sick. So finding the emotional parallels to the physical was very important.
And for you as a director, was it difficult to get yourself back and forth from having that directorial mindset to having the actor's mindset?
Um, Yes and no. I'm a director first, um, and then actor second. And I had to have a long talk with myself of just, as an actor, you can tend to, I can tend to be a little insecure and want constant, let me know I'm doing all right and do what you want. But that I had to put the ego down and say, just give me the most authentic Junior possible in all of her messiness. So there was a real vulnerability on screen of just, no makeup and just kind of laying it all out there. And that in itself made it a little bit easier for me to switch between directing and acting.
There's some real wild parts in this script and some very fun parts. Mixing those together with the seriousness of the entire thing, how difficult was it to get to that, to like keep it very much
Keep it
on
light.
it? Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you for noticing that I wanted to do that. I find a lot of comedy in the drama of my life, in anybody else's life. And if you can't laugh at what's happening, then I really don't know how we're waking up the next day. So, and one of the things that's always bothered me about the representation of chronic illness on screen is how freaking depressing it is. And there's other sides of that. It is a depressing thing, and chronic illness can be depressing. But that's not the only thing about it. And other people can deal with chronic illnesses in different ways. And I wanted to show some kind of hope. Like, I don't know. We don't need to always be sad about it. And showing some hope in the other side of it was I set out to do. We've got to keep the comedy within the drama. It helps relieve pain and stress. Um, yeah.
Did you always know that you wanted to both star in this and direct it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So, um,
Without a doubt. If I was going to write a
having that
character for
pressure on you,
CRPS, I couldn't cast anyone else. Like, it was the closest, that was my story to tell as an actor and a director. So, yes.
okay, that's awesome. So did you have people in mind when you were writing this, or when you
Oh
were
no,
helping?
we wrote it for ourselves. Like when Jen and I sat down, we wrote it for ourselves. We knew that this is what we were going to do. Yeah.
Awesome. So your supporting cast, the brother,
Yeah.
how did that come about? Because it seemed like that they fit in so perfectly into the story.
Ah, thank you. It's actually one of the best little surprises about the movie. So, yeah, we traveled 4,500 miles in 14 days to shoot this movie. And when we set out, we had a 65-page script. So that's a great blueprint for what we knew we were shooting in the storyline. When we left Los Angeles and started filming, there wasn't the brother character. Mads didn't have a brother. She had the same issues with her mom, but she didn't have a brother. Somewhere outside of Las Vegas, Jennifer got a call from her friend who was on a road trip with his brother. And he was going to be in Portland around the same time we were. And he offered to help us out in any way. And he said he could act. And I said, I'm going to take advantage of that. And so Jen and I started spitballing, like, how do we work in this character? We don't want it to be about a man at all. We don't want any of those kind of tropes within. So it was natural to bring him in as the older brother that kind of helps Mads through her journey. So I rewrote the third act to include the brother. And he's quite a linchpin for the whole movie.
He is, and I felt that not only having
Rain Jameson is who plays the brother, and what a delight to work with. He is such a delight and a beautiful human inside and out. Yeah.
yeah, I felt that bond between you two, and then the bond that Jen had with the brother character was incredible, and it added more to the story than I think I ever expected it to be. A movie like this is very rare to see produced. How was the journey to get this from script to screen?
This was self-produced. Jen was on a 2-week break from in between nursing school semesters. My partner Rob had just gotten back from 3 months working in India, and we had all talked about going on vacation. And we were like, wait, why would we spend money on a vacation when we could just create something? And this was my last summer as a 39-year-old, and I hadn't directed my first feature, and I wanted to do that before I was 40. So we kind of just threw everything that we had, all of our knowledge and experience, and we self-funded this. Self-produced, self-funded.
So, how different is it directing shorts to directing a feature?
Oh, directing's directing. I everything is a story, and it's just how you're telling it, and in a longer sense or not. I even wish I had more time with the in between to tell more of a story. But I don't find a huge difference.
Can you give me a little background on how you decided on the title, The In Between?
Yeah, absolutely. In 2014, I got a tattoo here that says the in between is killing, and it was representative of my time as an undiagnosed. I went through doctors for 3 years before I was diagnosed with CRPS, and it just was an awful time of too many doctors not understanding what my illness was and being undertreated. So that phrase, the in between is killing, it was something for me. And I think it was Rob Sinska, when we were batting around names, he was like, you do have that tattooed on you. And I said, when we did want to tell like the in-between story of two big stories, because as you can tell, there's a big story at the beginning and there's going to be even a bigger story at the end. So we were really focused on those in-between moments, that little time in life where it's the big turning point. And that's
Definitely.
how we landed on the in-between.
Awesome. And it also seems that there could be a possibility for a sequel to this. Is there any thought into possibly seeing what happens after?
No, actually, we haven't discussed that at all. I really like the idea that both of their stories and their journeys are going to continue in our audience's head, and they can fill in those blanks for them. Um, um, and it's a good, hopeful story I want people to remember. So, but I don't want to give it to them. I think they can fill that in themselves. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much for your time. This movie
Yeah.
was fantastic in my eyes, and I hope it gets the audience it deserves.
Yeah, I hope so. I will be on VOD May 18th. That's Amazon and iTunes and Vudu. And we'll have pre-sales for DVD and Blu-ray, which Jen and I just completed the commentary for. And it's like us taking a whole nother road trip. So it's pretty entertaining to listen to us talk. So yeah, guys, check it out, May 18th.
Is there anywhere on social media that we can check out more
Yeah,
on the
I mean, you can always follow me, Mindy Bledsoe, or Jennifer Stone. It's just our names. And then on Instagram, we've got In Between Movie 2019.
In the in between, two women set out on a road trip with different missions. Max, played by Jennifer Stone, needs to renew her driver's license in South Dakota, while Junior, played by Mindy Bledsoe, needs to visit Portland, Oregon on a quest for her dead sister. Both women have medical issues that cause friction along the way, but they never let those problems define their identities. Matt is also keeping a secret from Junior, a secret that could explode at any moment and ruin their journey. Make sure to check out The In Between on May 18th. Make sure to check out more of my stuff on Thisfunktional.com. Follow me on social media at Thisfunktional on Twitter and Instagram, Thisfunktional LA on Facebook, and Thisfunktional on Snapchat. Check out more of my stuff here at youtube.com/Thisfunktional. Make sure to follow my Twitch, twitch.com/Thisfunktional. And have a good one, guys.